Happy Wednesday, everyone. We got a little bit of strength endurance coming your way, so I hope you guys are ready. We're going to need our timer today for that 20-10 interval again, like last week, so get that prepped and ready for you guys as well. But before we get to all the work sets, let's talk about our warm-up. Our warm-up is going to consist of a plank to down dog to side plank, so a nice little complex of body weight stuff going on there for 3 reps. Alternating arch hold for 10 seconds per side. Into a prone shoulder raise for 3 to 5 at 3 seconds, straight and or bent, and I'll show you both of those options. Single leg RDL for 3 aside at a 5-second eccentric, and then a narrow squat for 3 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo. We're going to hit that for 1 to 2 rounds. We're going to get right into the work sets. So all of our work sets today are 4 rounds, and they're 4-round couplets. So we're going to have some fun with these different work sets. So the first one, 4 rounds, we're going to do 20 seconds worth of side lunges. Then you're going to take down our 10-second rest. Then you're going to move into a dumbbell standing march for 20 seconds, rest 10. The side lunges can be loaded if you'd like, but they don't have to be as well. We did a bunch of back or forward lunges yesterday. This will be a nice way to tackle those legs a little differently. Once you've done 4 rounds of that piece, we move into the next one where we're going to lay down for a while. So we have 4 rounds of 20 seconds at a tuck hollow with extension. So nice dynamic set for 20 seconds. Rest 10 seconds, 20 seconds worth of bridges. So a nice dynamic bridge, not a hold. You can load it or unload. 10 seconds rest, 4 rounds through that piece. Then we're going to transition to the upper body. And what we're going to do here, we're going to play around with some different stuff. And I'm going to show you guys a couple different variations of this next phase. So we have 4 rounds of dumbbell bent row for 20 seconds. Rest 10 seconds, dumbbell floor press for 20 seconds, rest 10 seconds. So I'm going to show you 2 variations. One variation where we're using a single dumbbell, all right, on the side, and then we use it on the other side on the next round. The other variation, we use a single dumbbell, and we're going to use both hands on the dumbbell for both movements. So I'll show you both variations of that, and you can choose where you want to go with it. Neither is right nor wrong. It's just going to give you a slightly different feel. And or the one with the 2 hands on the dumbbell, it's going to allow you to get some pretty decent amount of reps in there, so be prepared for some higher volume. Our last piece of the puzzle is a little gymnastics piece. You got 4 rounds, plank walkout for 20 seconds, rest 10, arch up for 20 seconds, rest 10. And we're going to finish off with that, a little cool down, call it a day. It's going to be a full day of 20-10, and please feel free to rest a little bit in between each 4-round couplet. So if you want to give yourself a minute, 90 seconds in between each of those couplets, please be my guest. Let's warm you up, get you ready, have some fun. All right, guys, let's get those feet under the hips. Let's take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to reach over to one side. We're going to come back up and over to the other side. From here, we're going to come back up with the arms. We're going to shrug those shoulders, take it to the ceiling. And we'll come back down, bring those hands out to the T, and then turn the arms in, and turn them. Turn them in, and out, and in, and out. Big stretch. We'll bring those hands all the way down to the to the hips. We're going to take our feet out a little wider to our sumo stance, and then turn one toe towards the wall, and the other toe on the angle. Our hand is going to go to the thigh, our arm is going to reach up, pulling the hip back, and then we'll bring that body back up, nice and smooth. And then we'll draw the hip back, and then come back up, and then pull the hip back, and back up. We'll turn the toes, big high five, turn the toe to the other side, other foot on the angle. We're going to pull the hip back, keep reaching up towards the ceiling, and we'll stand tall. And then we'll pull the hip back, and stand tall. One more time, pull the hip back, and stand tall. Good, bring those toes back to the center, big high five, and let's get you guys ready to go. If you'd like to pause the video, taking down a little bit more, maybe lizard lunge, a little bit more rotation work, upper body work, please be my guest, take your time. We got a lot of things to kind of go through today, so I'm gonna get you moving into that warm up, but if you'd like to take some more time to get some gentle warm up in, pause the video, take that down. But come along with me. Let's talk about this plank to down dog side plank. So I'm going to turn it to the side here. I'm going to get myself into my plank, hit that down dog position, setting my shoulders, finding that good overhead position. I'm going to come into my plank, and I'm going to rotate into my side plank. And then I'm going to come back into my plank and rotate into my side plank. And then I'll come back into my plank and then pull back into my down dog. And I'm going to cycle through that nice flow. From here as well, I can also lower the knee, open into my side plank, to a little supported position, come back into my plank, lower my knee, into that side plank position, back into my plank, set, and then down dog. So there's a few different ways you can play with that. The biggest thing is we're always hitting that plank as that middle piece. So every time we hit that two-hand plank, that nice solid position, just recheck the core, recheck the shoulders, make sure we're nice and stable before we move either into the down dog where we get that nice overhead position, or we move into the side plank where we're getting that nice stacked shoulder overhand position. So make sure we're nice and active before we switch into a different body position. You got 3 times through that sequence. Take it down, holding anywhere from like 2 to 3 seconds per exercise, and then continue on. So we're gonna lay on the floor after that, so you can lower down to the floor any way you'd like. And we're gonna work on what's called an alternating arch hold. So both arms are gonna be to the front, my eyes are gonna be down, and I'm gonna reach my right hand, left foot, reaching long and reaching and holding for 10 seconds. Keeping that idea of lengthening, straightening out the leg, and then down, and then reaching and holding on the opposite side. So we're going to work some unilateral work here. Our goal is length and long, not necessarily height. All right, so focus on that long body position and work on getting that nice, solid engagement as we breathe through that hold. After that, I'm going to come back down to this laying position. I'm going to work on my shoulder raises, and there's 2 variations that we can play with. One of which is to the front, so we squeeze the toes together, glutes tight, ribs, hips come in, and then we work on lifting the arms up into our prone raise without a PVC or our shoulder raise, and down. Or we can take the arms to a 90 degree on the side, like little goalposts. We get ourselves set up in the same way, toes together, ribs, hips, armpits and stuff pressing into the floor, and then we squeeze the shoulders and lift the arms up, maintaining that hollow. Regardless of where we are lifting the arms from, all right, we are keeping this in that nice pulled in together hollow position. So we're pulling the ribs and hips together, keeping the glutes tight, and keeping that body stable. So the only thing that's moving are our arms and our shoulders, either straight arm overhead or to the side with the bent arms. So you can play with that, you can play with both. You can alternate each rep if you'd like. We have 3 to 5 reps of that, and you're gonna hold for 3 seconds in each lift. After that, we're gonna stand up, we're just gonna wake up our glutes and hamstrings. I'm gonna work on some single leg RDLs. You can load these or not, but they're just to prime up the glutes and hamstrings. So don't go overkill with them. All right, so just keep it so you're waking things up and not overtaxing them. So foot planted, other toe is back, just as a little kickstand. My hips are square. I'm gonna pretend like I'm holding a dumbbell to the front. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and I'm gonna get that good hinge, but it's gonna take me 5 seconds to get to my knee or just below my knee. And then I'm gonna stand normal pace. So I'm using a 5-second eccentric to bring those hands down and then nice smooth stand. I can also do this unsupported. So the same setup, same start. As I pull my hip back, I let that foot trace and hover along the floor, and I'm still working with that 5-second lower. So it's really focusing on that tempo to really spend some time under tension and find that good leg position. From there, we're going to move into our narrow squat. And we're going to use that. So if this is my normal squat stance, my narrow squat is going to be anything inside of that. So whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my back position. So I'm standing nice and tall, not quite all together, but I got about a fist distance between my feet. And I'm going to take the hips to the heels. My knees are going to continually track the toes, and my feet are gonna stay nice and flat. And I'm gonna feel this a little bit more in my shins and my ankles, because that's where I'm tight. You may feel it in your quads, your hips, depending on where you feel that. But we wanna keep those same squat points of performance for our narrow stance as we do for our regular and our sumo. We just might not be able to get as deep with that narrow stance, depending on our tensions and our flexibilities. All right? Little quick recap for you guys. We have a plank to down dog to side plank for 3. Alternating arch hold, 10 seconds per side, working on that unilateral work for 10 seconds per side. Prone shoulder raise, either straight arm or bent to the side for 3 reps to 5 reps at a 3-second hold. Single leg RDL for 3 per side at a 5-second eccentric, and a narrow squat stand for our 3 reps, 3-1-3 tempo. 1 to 2 rounds, we don't have to overkill that, and then we're gonna get ourselves right into that next phase, which is gonna be our first work set. So pause the video, take that down, work through that. If you need to add anything in there or practice any of the movements that are coming up, please do so and get yourself nice and ready. Okay. All right, so our first movement we got going on in our first work set is a side lunge, and we do these quite a bit. So we're gonna get our feet nice and wide, and I want you all to think squat mechanics. So I'm gonna take my hip to my heel, keeping my body nice and upright. I'm gonna take it to that nice depth where both feet are flat and my body's tall, and I'll push through. And then I'll take it down to the other side, keeping everything nice and tall, and then push through. If you'd like to load this, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, you're gonna hold the dumbbell at your gobble position. That's gonna help keep you upright. So it's not easy, I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you load this, you may not get as deep as you normally do in your side lunge, and that's okay, but we do wanna make sure we're focusing on that tall, upright body. So after that, we're gonna move around 10 seconds, we're gonna move into a dumbbell standing march. And we can hold the dumbbell in a few different places. We can hold it against the body with the elbows forward. We can hold it in the goblet, the front rack, and the suitcase. Regardless of where we hold the dumbbell, we're gonna be working on picking up those knees nice and high and working on that balance. So trying to stay nice and strong, nice and tall, and squeezing those glutes as we do these marches, okay? So we don't wanna just be loosey-goosey. We wanna engage those glutes, focus on that engagement as we lift those knees as high as we can, and that'll prevent us from kind of getting any leaning or softness in the other leg. We have 20 seconds of just steady state back and forth, and then you're gonna rest for 10 seconds, and then take it down all over again. So you got 4 rounds, quick little recap. 4 rounds, 20 seconds of side lunge, max reps, nice and smooth. Rest 10, 20 seconds of steady state dumbbell standing march. Rest 10 seconds, do it again. Pause the video, take that work set down, you guys. We're gonna move into the next phase, and we're gonna take it down with a nice little bit of core work and some bridge work. So our next work set's gonna consist of our tuck hollow with extension. So you're gonna get a chance to lay down for a while. So I'm gonna reach it long and tall, big stretch. And then I'm gonna pull my shoulders and my knees together by pulling my ribs and hips together into this tuck hollow position. From here, I'm gonna try and keep my shoulders and knees together as I extend my legs. You're not looking at getting a ton of reps here, but you are working at maintaining that compression and attacking those hamstrings. So another way to do this, if you're a little tighter in the hammies, you can do 1 foot down and just work on one leg straightening at a time. And the next round, you can bring the other knee in and put that one on the floor. Your core doesn't know the difference, but it'll give you a better opportunity to straighten out that hamstring and really get a good bang for your buck on those legs. Our next exercise is our bridge. So we get a chance to rest and relax for 10 seconds. Then we're gonna bring our hands down to the side, and we're gonna squeeze and lift and work on a nice dynamic bridge for 20 seconds. Working on squeezing the glutes the entire time, coming up to a height that allows me to keep my ribs in and open my hips fully and lower. If I'd like to, I can take my dumbbell and I can put it on my hips and then I'm just going to squeeze and lift, but I'm still using my glutes as the primary mover of my body. So we want to focus on that good glute squeeze, that good lift, and that good controlled lower. After that, you get 10 seconds of rest. You'll take it down for 4 rounds, maybe rest a little bit after that work set, and move into the next one. So pause the video, take down that tuck hollow piece with the bridge, and have some fun with it. It's going to be a burner through the core and through the glutes. Our next phase of work is going to have 2 variations, and you can choose to do either one. I'm not looking for any one specific. It's where you want to go with this today. So first things first, we have our bent row. So the first variation of this work set, what we'll do is we'll do all one side for a 1 full round. So what I'll do is I'm going to get myself set up, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, nice and square. I'm going to hinge, so I'm nice and square to the floor. That knee is over the hip, or the heel, and I'm going to get that arm down. And I'm going to pull that hand into the low rib and down. Low rib and down. And I'm isolating that arm and shoulder and not moving the upper body or the lower body. I'm just allowing myself to get that good set of rows for 20 seconds on that one side. Then I'll rest for 10 seconds, and then I'm going to lay down. And I'm going to get into that bridge position again. So my feet will come flat, and I'm going to use the same arm I just used in my bent row. I'm going to get my arm at that 45 degree, wrist stacked over the elbow, and I'm going to set the other hand up off to the side for balance, and I'm going to floor press, pulling the arm down to that 45, that stacked wrist and elbow, and I'm going to press over top of the chest and pull down. I'm going to do 20 seconds of floor press with that side. All right? Then I'll have 10 seconds of rest to pop back up to my feet, and I'll repeat it on the other side. So you'll get 2 rounds per side. All right, so that's one way to take it down. Good times. It's a challenging piece because you're working that unilateral work. But the other way which you can play with is you can use this single dumbbell with both hands. So what you're going to do, standing with your feet like your squat stance, you'll pull your hips back and down like you're going to do a deadlift. The dumbbell is going to hang right below my shoulders, and I'm going to pull it in to my belly button, keeping my elbows tight, and down, in and down. And it's going to be relatively light, and that's okay. So you're going to get quite a few reps working through that upper back, and you're going to really have a chance to get some really good volume in that 20-second stint, and you'll do that for 4 rounds. But you'll interplace it with that dumbbell floor press. And you'll do the same thing. So you'll get yourself set up. Your elbows are going to be kind of just outside, a little closer to your body than they would be if you're using a single arm. And you're going to start it over top of your sternum, finish it over top of your chest. Pull it in and press. And with this, you should be able to keep it moving for that 20 seconds. You can go as slow or as fast as you need to get some really good work and really good arm work in there. But I want you to make sure, if you're going fast, we're hitting those key positions. All right, the dumbbell starts above the sternum at the bottom and then finishes over the chest at the top. So we do have that nice forward and down and forward and up motion in our movement. All right, so 2 different ways to take down that bent row and floor press, either using one dumbbell, that unilateral side per side, and or using that 2 hands on the dumbbell and working for a little bit more volume. All right, neither is right or wrong. Play with it, have some fun with it. Maybe do a little warm-up set to see what one suits you best for today, and see where you go. Pause the video, take that piece down, you guys. You're gonna get a good little pump going on those arms, and then join me for our last phase, which is a little bit of gymnastics work. So our last phase of work is going to work with the plank walkout for 20 seconds. You're going to hold each position for about a second or 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to get set up in that plank. You're going to pull those ribs and hips in, press the shoulders up. You're going to walk your hands out to wherever you feel comfortable. Holding for a beat or 2, walking back in. Set, walk your hands back out, get to that good hollow, walk your hands back in. And you're gonna do that for 20 seconds. Holding, like I say, for for a second or two at each end to show control, and then come back in. With the walkout though, if you're not fully comfortable going from the toes, you can explore the knee position. So we get our plank, we lower our knees, maintaining the hollow, and then we walk ourselves out. And you may find that you can get a little further out in that hollow from the knees, still maintaining that good hollow plank as you walk yourself out. So if you'd like, drop into the knees, work on that good position, work on that good walkout. Last but not least, we have our arch up. All right, so finishing off with some back work, you're gonna lower to your stomach, and you're gonna do one of two things. Ready to go, 2 hands and feet, pairing it with your breath for 20 seconds, reaching for length, or unilateral, like we did in the warm-up, but you're gonna work dynamic. Working with your breathing, working on length, working on that long body. So you're gonna take that time to take down 20 seconds worth of dynamic arch ups, and then pop back in to your plank walkout for 20 seconds. So you got a nice little core piece to work on right after getting a good pump on with that upper body. So I hope you like those last 2 combos. It's a very fun little work set. Quick recap on the last piece. We have 4 rounds. Plank walkout for 20 seconds, rest 10. Arch up, 20 seconds dynamic, rest 10, 4 rounds. So like I said before, we have 4 work sets of 4 rounds each, 4 couplets. If you'd like to rest in between each couplet, you can rest anywhere from 60 seconds to 90 seconds. If you are comfortable with all of the movements and you're like, I know what I'm gonna do today, and I'm rocking it, I'm good to go, and you're like, I kinda wanna use a collective fatigue, you can rest 30 seconds in between each work set, and then use a little bit more of a collective fatigue to the end of the work set. So have some fun, play with this one, you guys. They're small little work sets, but they pack a punch. Well, as always, work for quality. Have fun with these, you guys. Challenge yourself. If you have any questions, please yell. Send me a message. I'm happy to answer any questions you happen to have on these work sets and movements. Until tomorrow, have some fun, work for quality, and we'll see you later. Bye, you guys.